In this video, I will show you how to sum numbers if the criteria cells are equal to X or Y value in Excel like this. So let's get started. Here in this Excel sheet, I have some order details including order number, order item and the order amount. Now I want to calculate the sum if the ordered item is either apple or orange. Usually we use the SUMIFS function to calculate the sum when we need to apply multiple criteria or conditions to the data. However, the problem is that the SUMIFS function uses the AND logic to apply the conditions. That means that all the conditions must be true. For example, the SUMIFS formula sums up the amounts having two conditions. First, the item is equal to apple and second, the item is equal to orange. However, we get 0 as a result because the conditions are applied using the AND logic and an item cannot be apple and orange both. What I want to do is to sum the amounts if the item is an apple or an orange. One way to do that is to use the SUMIFS function twice, one comparing the item with an apple and another comparing with an orange, and then add them using the plus sign. Let's start the formula by typing an equal sign in the target cell. I am going to use the amount cells as the sum range argument, items as the criteria range argument, and apple as the third criteria argument. This SUMIFS formula will give us the sum of the amounts if the item is an apple. Now I will add the sum of the order amounts if the item is an orange to this sum using the plus sign by copying this SUMIFS function and changing the criteria argument to orange like this. Press the enter key to complete the formula. As you can see, we now have the sum of numbers if the item is either of these two. Since we are only applying one condition at a time, we can also use the SUMIF function instead of the SUMIFS function to calculate the sum like this. Both of these solutions are not practical if there are more than a couple of conditions, because in that case the formula becomes unnecessarily big and complicated. So I am going to utilize the array to apply multiple OR conditions in the same SUMIFS function. Here is the formula to do that. Here I have created an array having apple and orange as elements, and then I have specified this array as the criteria argument of the SUMIFS function. When we specify the array as the criteria, the SUMIFS function also returns an array as a result instead of a single sum value. In this case, it returns an array containing two elements. First element is the total order amount of the apple and second, the total order amount of orange. Since this SUMIFS function is specified as an argument of the sum function, the sum function adds the elements of this array and returns the result as 33. As you can see, we now have the sum of the amounts if the item is equal to either X or Y. Watch these videos for more Excel tips, tricks and how-to tutorials. If you found this video helpful, please like the video and subscribe to our channel.